Hello there, this is Coach Ajit, and in this video we are talking about how quickly can you really create decent income, how quickly can you really make good money as a coach. Now this video is applicable if you're a life coach, a business coach, a health coach, or any other kind of coach that is looking to find a path, is looking to find a model that can give them some sense of certainty about how quickly can they go from zero to making decent amount of money that will help them sustain their career or fully transition into their coaching business. To make this video very valuable to you, I am breaking it apart in two different parts. The first part, we are going to discuss how quickly can you go from zero to making decent amount of money in your coaching business. And in the second part, we'll discuss some models of being able to build a coaching business. These models will guide you a little bit better in what you could do structurally in your business so you can design your business to create the income that you truly desire. But before we get to the second part, let me remind you something that is very important. You see, in 2022, if you want to create success in your life, you want to be in an environment that creates consistent learning for you. To be in an environment like that, I invite you to hit the red subscribe button that you see below this video, because when you subscribe to this YouTube channel, you get videos like these every single week that will elevate your understanding of your coaching business, your understanding of how to deliver results for your clients, and that will in turn help you live your passion and create a business that you truly love. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. Now let's get back to the first part of the question. The first part of the question is, how quickly can you go from zero to a decent income or good income as a life coach, as a business coach, as a health coach, as a mindset coach? Here's the first thing that you need to do to figure out how fast or how quickly can you go from zero to making decent amount of money as a new coach. The first thing that you need to do is to define what good money, what decent money really means in your reality. You see, all of us see money differently. We have an inherent money story that runs at the back of our mind. And because of this default story that runs in our mind, we have a different understanding of what decent money is. For some people who may have families, decent money looks different. It depends sometimes in the state or the country that you live in. It depends sometimes based on the realities that you've lived in the past and the needs that you have to make you feel fulfilled. So the first thing that you need to do as a coach is to identify for yourself what is decent money. What's that number? And I want you to get specific about it. Don't give me a range of money. Don't write down a range of money that you'd like to create, but give me a specific number. Now, the number that you define for yourself, I want you to be optimistic about it. Don't try to find the absolute bare minimum where you get no pleasure out of life to be your good number. Make sure that the number that you define, the good number that you define for yourself, is actually optimistic. It's a little bit more. It gives you comfort in life. It gives you that ease of being able to go for the massage that you want to go to, or be able to take that vacation that you truly might need. So find a number that feels like good, decent money, and then push it by 5 or 10% so it becomes a little bit more optimistic. Now, once you have identified this number, I want you to take this number and divide it by 10. The reason why I want you divided by 10 is because it gives you the number that you need every month if you had 10 clients. From my point of view, getting 10 clients is not very difficult. And so I use the number 10. But while doing this exercise, if at any point you feel 10 is not reasonable, it's too hard, it's too difficult in my reality for me to think about getting 10 clients, choose a number that feels comfortable to you. We're gonna have some more fun with numbers. Once you have found that monthly number, work with the assumption, because you are, say, new in coaching, that every 1 in 5 conversations will become an enrollment. That means if you'll talk to 5 people, 1 of them might say that they would like to work for you. Now this means that if you chose the goal of 10 clients a year, you are looking at about 50 conversations over a course of a year. Because every 5 conversations, 1 person becomes a client. That means if you have 50 conversations, you will have 10 clients. One of the secrets to create incredible amount of abundance in your life is to understand that abundance doesn't happen in spikes. You need to work on what you're creating on a daily basis. And you need to track it on a daily basis so you can hold yourself accountable and stay with the journey so abundance can be created. I share with you this because once you have the amount of conversations you need to do overall, You need to track how many are you doing on a weekly basis, how many are you doing on a daily basis. As you will start tracking these conversations, as you will start tracking how many people that you have to meet to start a coaching conversation, how many of those coaching conversations turn into a client, how many avenues are there where you can actually open coaching conversations, you'll start to see a trend. This trend will give you a better prediction of how many events you need to attend, how many people that you need to open a conversation with, which model of opening conversation works better in your reality because you tend to create potential clients that are more likely to say yes. All of this data that you will gather as you're doing this work will start to inform you how many months will it take for you to get your 10 clients. And well, that is the amount of time that you will take to be able to create the income that will make you feel comfortable, safe, and good, and it will be decent money for you. This will also help you design how long it might take for you to transition careers. So say, for example, you're somebody who's working in a job where you make decent amount of money, and now you want to replace that income with your coaching income so you can safely quit your job and focus on something that you truly love. It's easy to now mathematically find out how long it will take you to create that income so you can replace that income and safely quit your job, because now you're making decent money as a coach. Before I get to the second part of the video where I'll show you 3 different business models that you can use to create decent amount of money in your coaching practice, I'll love for you to use the comment section below and share with me how long are you going to take to transition your career. Share with me how long will it take you to create decent, good income as a coach. This data will be very useful for you to see, not just for yourself, but for other people. You will be able to see that there are people who are taking much longer and some people that are taking much shorter to be able to create the income that makes them feel safe, that is good, decent money for them. It is not to compare, but to be inspired by, and to understand that this reality changes by the person. There are too many circumstances that all of us live in that define how quickly or how slowly something can be done. So while this model will give you somewhat of an accurate idea of how long it will take for you to be able to create decent income, it will also show you that no two people are made same. And so if anybody promises you that it always takes X number of weeks or X number of days for somebody to become wealthy, they're almost always wrong, because they haven't factored in your circumstances. Now, with that information, let's go to the second part that will help you further create decent, good income as a coach, as a life coach, and as a business coach or a health coach or a mindset coach. I want to share with you 3 models that will help you really understand how you can generate good income for yourself as a coach. The first model I want to talk about is one-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching requires a lot of time dedicated because you're only working with one person at a time, but it's also one of the most profitable models that you could start. The reason is because there's no overhead, there's no real need for technology when you start. If you're working with 5 to 10 clients that might be taking care of all your ambitions or creating good, decent money, you don't really need very sophisticated technology. You just simply need to have a really good coaching model that creates the results that these clients need. And because of that, because of low overhead, you might be able to get started and get successful much faster if you started with the one-on-one coaching model. One-on-one coaching will turn in a lot more revenue per client, making it less of an effort to find all the clients you need. The only challenge, it takes a lot of time because you're working with only one person at a time and you're serving only one person at a time. And over time, it can get a little frustrating and becomes really non-scalable. So the first thing that you need to consider when you're starting out is, does that appeal to you? Because if that is something that appeals to you, it might be the quickest path for you to go from zero to making decent amount of money as a coach. The second model that you want to consider, and it is the model that most coaches like to keep for a really long time, is group coaching or mastermind. This model is where you're working with a group of individuals that are seeking a similar outcome to come together and be coached by you at the same time. Sometimes you are even borrowing intel from one person to another, and so all of you can learn together. This is a beautiful model. It requires slightly less amount of time because you have one meeting where you're serving everybody, and it still creates a very good amount of money. It is most definitely less than one-on-one coaching, but it is significantly more still, so you don't have to look for hundreds of clients. You can make pretty good money, pretty decent money with just 20 or 30, maybe 50 clients at max. And with that, without taking in extra time, you can create a fairly scalable coaching business. And that would be the second model that one would keep. The third model is a course model. A course model is where you have predefined the exact outcome and the journey that a client will go through. This is where there might be a module that might open up in a week and everybody studies the same module, and then they come in for a live coaching environment or a live coaching session. Sometimes you can even have other coaches that understand your methodology, other students that understand your methodology run this model. So this model becomes very less on time intensity, but also courses are significantly cheaper than coaching models or group coaching models because there is not as much one-on-one interaction and personal attention that is given to each student in the program, which makes it a little bit difficult in making good amount of money. You need hundreds, sometimes thousands of students to be able to make decent, good money in a model like the course model. Also, in the course model, you have competing companies that have really invested a lot of time, energy, resources in building something that really does work. Here at EverCoach, we have invested thousands and thousands of dollars in designing learning experiences for each of our programs. It's hard to compete with that much amount of information, that much amount of variety of topics, that much amount of quality that we can deliver just because we have invested so much time, effort, and energy into it and have been doing this for a very long time. Most of our students finish our programs and they also rank us really, really high. We get some of the highest net promoter scores across the globe in coach education. And so when you release a course, you would be competing with companies like us. So we here at EverCoach encourage you to first use your greatest advantage, which is you yourself as a coach. Start with one-on-one coaching. Then go into group coaching or masterminds. And then when you're ready, when your clients are craving to work with you, even when you don't have time, that's when you start working on courses. That's when you start releasing your courses. Each of these models can be wildly profitable, can definitely make you a decent amount of money, but can also set you up as one of the best coaches in the world, which is our dream for you, which is our hope for you, which is also why we do the work we do here at EverCoach. We create the world's best programs and we try to make them available to you in the most affordable way. If this information spoke to you, if you felt like you would love to be in a learning environment that is like this and even more, if you'd like to learn more coaching methodologies, if you'd like to dive deeper so you can create a more meaningful impact in your clients' lives, check out our incredible offer on EverCoach membership. It'll be linked up below. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, hit that like button, share it with a friend or a colleague that can use this information. And if you haven't yet shared, share with me in the comment section below as to what stood out for you in this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is Coach Ajit, and you're watching this on EverCoach.